We're going to begin this demo by logging in as Ursula, the analyst. She's going to log into Rational Requirements Composer and create a requirement and a work item to track it that will affect the design of our JKE banking project. Ursula logs into her dashboard at Requirements Composer, selects the JKE Banking Requirements project, and then navigates to that project where she creates a new feature. This feature will log user activity. We can elaborate this with a little longer description where the all user activity is to be logged in the application. We will make sure that this requirement gets put into the features folder of the Business Recovery Matters project. And most importantly, we'll make sure that the artifact is opened when we finish creating this new artifact. With the requirement open, we can elaborate the textual requirement a little bit more. We're going to say that all activity is logged in a separate log outside of the application server. Save this requirement. Now we'll go to the links section and create a new tracked by link to a work item. And we're going to create a new work item to link to. So the summary is going to be implement user logging. We can file this against the overall JKE project for now, and we're going to assign it to Al, the architect. The description is just going to state design a logging mechanism to log user activity according to the requirement that's associated with this work item. With the description complete, we close out the dialog, and we now have a requirement and a work item assigned to Al to track that requirement in our application. Now we're going to switch the tone until we get to Al. Al is in his RSA development tool, sees a new work item assigned to him, opens up that work item, and notices there's a requirement to the work item. We navigate through the requirement, and using the built-in browser, we open up the textual description of the new requirement. Al gives it a good fine read, and then goes back to the work item and decides to start working on it right now. The first thing Al's going to do is he's going to execute a repository-wide search for the word server. A number of entries will pop up, but right up there at the top is an overview diagram. So Al's going to open up that overview diagram in the local workspace. And to this work diagram, he noticed there's some comments. So Al is going to take a look at the comments that were added by Adam. Adam says that we need to change the product-specific names to more generic names in here. And while he's at it, Al might as well just make those changes to this diagram since he'll be working on it anyway. So with the changes made requested by Adam, we get to the original intent of the work item, which is to add some logging capabilities to this diagram. He's going to add a logger component inside the server, a log shape just outside of the server, and connect these shapes up to each other that essentially reflects the intent of the original requirement. With the changes made, Al will save the model file, and with the model file saved, associate these changes with a change set for Rational Team Concert, and check in these changes to RTC. Now, when they're checked in, it's just a plain change set. Al is going to associate this change set to the work item that he was working on, which is work item number 77 to implement the user log. Now, with these changes associated with the work item, Al will deliver the changes to the SCM so that they're available to the others on the team. After the changes have been delivered, Al goes to the properties page for this diagram and the links section and adds a new link from this diagram. The link type is going to be an elaboration, and he's going to select a resource from the requirements project. Of course, he needs to log in, and he'll log in and remember the login to Rational Requirements Composer. Then choose an existing requirement, and the type of requirement is going to be a requirement selection. Rational Requirements Composer responds with its own user interface, which is filled in the area of this dialog, and Al can search for the requirement, or if he knows the number ahead of time, just type in that. But this user interface is being provided by Rational Requirements Composer and allows Al to select the requirement that he wants to link to. With the requirement selected and saved,